Hey, what's up, everybody? Dow futures point to a record open, rise more than 100 points on U.S. China trade optimism. See, I think this is what it's all about. I think it's all about trade right now. A lot of people talk about um, our fragile economy, and we might have a fragile economy, but we have a strong economy. If you look at the numbers that come out month after month after month, you see nothing but positive numbers. Now, there have been a few months, um, very far in between, but there has been a few months where numbers were slightly disappointing. But every time we see job numbers come out, usually they're always better than expected. Unemployment rate stays low. Um, Manufacturing numbers usually are kind of disappointing, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we don't manufacture a lot of stuff here. So um, I think manufacturing numbers typically are going to probably be disappointing because, I mean, we make too much money in the US to make most of our stuff here. That's why a lot of our stuff is made in China. So I think manufacturing numbers are gonna remain low. You might see a little bit of boost here and there, but I think manufacturing numbers are gonna probably remain on the lower side compared to where people would like to see that. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. But let's take a look and see about trade. This is kind of a yo-yo, you know. One day it's positive, one day it's negative, all depending on, do I think a full-blown trade agreement is going to be signed in 2020? Probably not. There might be before 2020, there might be bits and pieces signed, um, but I think that anything that is signed, I think the stock market is going to really go up really big, probably by 1,000 points, possibly. Um, this is not, by the way, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. But I think what's going to happen is if a trade agreement is actually signed, I think the stock market is going to go up pretty big, and I think metals are going to take a hit, and that is why I have not been buying much in the terms of precious metals recently. I still buy a little bit here and there, but just not a lot because I think there's a lot of room for silver and especially gold to fall. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Silver could go up to $20 an ounce tomorrow. I just don't see it happening, um, especially um, if there's any expectations for a deal to get signed with China in any form, even if it's just labeled as phase one. If anything is signed between Donald Trump and President Xi, that will be extremely big. So it says here, optimism rose Monday, boosted by okay, U.S. stock market futures rose Monday, boosted by optimism around a potential U.S. trade deal. Dow Jones average futures pointed to a record open for the 30 stock index, rising 131 points. Um, uh, so really big, really big. It says the U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross said Sunday that American firms would be granted license to sell to China telecom giant Newway. Very shortly, Ross commented that after China said Friday it reached a consensus with the U.S. in principle following trade talks last week. Um, so it's a bit of a yo-yo. It's a bit of a yo-yo. Like I said previously, it's one day it's up, one day it's down. But It's going to probably continue to look like that until um, the two sides meet and with a pen in each hand and put pen to paper. So, and as I was saying before about the economy looking strong, it says right here a strong U.S. jobs report out Friday also supported risk appetite with stocks, and the U.S. economy added 128,000 jobs in October, the Labor Department said Friday. Um, it's going to be interesting to see when the GDP comes out, the U.S. GDP, and to see if we are once again above 3%. I think that will be a very telling sign. But there's no dispute. There's no disputing the fact that job numbers are booming. Um, Unemployment is still at the pretty much the all-time low, and stocks are at the all-time high. Now, a lot of it could be because I believe the Fed chair did start another round of QE without calling it QE. I think it is happening. So that could be a big part of why the stock market is so high. But job numbers are amazing. So let's see. Historically, recessions have tended to follow through in the unemployment rate by a year on average. Um, in other words, one needs to see the unemployment rate rise for a while to believe in a sustained slowdown. So, but the problem is I mean, not a problem. It's a good thing that unemployment rates are not rising. And then it goes on to say, meanwhile, the corporate earnings season has largely been better than expected. 75% of the 360 S&P 500 companies have surpassed analyst expectations. Um, so, I mean, most things, there's some evidence of a slowdown, but mostly everything is pointing to a pretty strong economy. I think even the bond yield curve has reversed itself once again. Um, so everything is pointing to things being pretty strong. So let's take a look and see what the futures actually look at currently for stocks. And then we're going to look at silver and gold and see what those. Expecting to see that silver and gold are both kind of sideways or even, not going up or down, too much. But let's go ahead and take a look. So in the pre-market, the Dow futures are up 141, S&P futures are up 15, and the Nasdaq futures are up 55. Now all of this can change in an instant. As soon as there's negative trade talks, if anything comes out that something's pointing to China reversing trade talks to they decided that there was something they didn't like and they want to, um, if it points to that they don't want to sign a deal, which can happen and just, in an instant, um, Dow futures going to go down, metals are going to go back up. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what silver and gold currently are looking like. All right, so we are currently looking at silver and gold. The stock market is currently not open, but of course the metals market is open, and silver is up 3 cents. So, like I said, I had a feeling it was going to be kind of sideways or kind of even, and that's pretty much where it's at. Percentage wise, up 0.14 of a percent. So let's take a look and see what gold is doing. Let's take a look at gold, and gold is down. Gold is down $4 or 0.13 30.30%. And gold is looking like it's at $1,510. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Economy, are you positive? Are you negative? Do you think where do you think silver and gold are going to be headed? And do you think a China-U.S. trade deal will be signed before the 2020 election? Please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching, and I'll talk to everybody on my next video. Thanks a lot, everyone.